it's Pride Week. Finally, I'm coming out. I actually love, now that I have your attention. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm so glad that you're watching. If you're new here, welcome, karibu. My name is Mtalii, and on this channel we talk about all things travel, whether that is visa guides, whether it's travel vlogs. And on Sunday we have story time Sunday, where I share with you some of the hilarious and not so hilarious stories, mostly about my encounters during my travels to the 100 plus countries that I have been fortunate to visit so far. If any of those topics sound exciting to you, you wanna hit the subscribe button below and also hit the notification bell so that every single time I shoot a new video, you do not miss out. So today's story time is gonna come from the beautiful, beautiful country of Argentina, and I'm going to tell you how the Argentinian police shipped my lost phone to me all the way from Buenos Aires in Argentina to Nairobi, Kenya, when I lost it. And during our story time, instead of just boring you with my face, I love to cook, so I will also be sharing with you different recipes of things that I am making. So today is a Sunday morning, and for my breakfast I'm gonna be having cranberry orange muffins, and that's what I'm gonna be preparing as I tell you my story. For my ingredients for the cranberry muffins, of course, I have dried cranberries here. I'm just using half a cup of the cranberries. I bought this one. It's called naturally diced cranberries. Then I have marmalade. So I just used regular peptone, which is available in the supermarket. I'm using quarter cup of marmalade, and this cup was gifted to me by my sister. She works at Nescafe. If you're watching this video, honey, I need chocolate now that I can't travel. 1.5 cups of flour, which I have sifted here. Half teaspoon of baking soda, and this is 1 teaspoon of baking powder. I have an egg here that I've just beat lightly. Quarter cup of sugar, quarter cup of buttermilk. This is what in Kenya here we call maziwa mala, and I just use KCC mala. This is a melted margarine, a 1/3 cup. To be honest, I just eyeballed it. Because I used Blue Band, I skipped the salt. So if you're using butter that is not salted, then you want to add about a quarter teaspoon of salt. This is a very simple cranberry orange muffin recipe. I simply add all the wet ingredients together with the sugar and all the dry ingredients together, and then I mix the two. I'm gonna add the flour. So guys, February 2019 is the last time I left Kenya to go to another country, and I was basically destined for South America. So the plan was to visit Argentina, Brazil, Costa Rica, and all the Southern American countries. Unfortunately, COVID happened, and then but I was fortunate, before countries were shut down, I was fortunate to visit Argentina and Brazil. So I started my trip in Argentina, and if you haven't watched that video, you want to check it up there. So I started my trip in Argentina, where I spent about 6 days, and I went to Buenos Aires, and I also went to the Patagonian, different Patagonian areas. I'm just gonna use my hand, please. I know it's yak, but I don't know which spoon can go all the way. Anyway, so I visited the Patagonian area of Argentina, and I also visited Buenos Aires. So after coming from Patagonia, I came back to Buenos Aires to fly out to Brazil, and because that's where the international airport is. So as usual, for international flights, you need to be there at least 3 hours before time. So faithful Eva was there almost 4 hours before before the flight time. And the reason I did that is because I didn't want to miss my flight. And over time, my battery started failing, so I decided to charge it in one of the ports at the airport. And obviously 4 hours is a long time to be charging your phone. And unfortunately, I forgot all about it. So when it was time to board, and they called those who were on that flight, your girl simply left and went to board the plane. And as we were descending into Brazil, the views were amazing, and I decided it's probably time for me to take a few pictures. And lo and behold, that's when I realized that I didn't even have my phone. Hey guys, do you know what? Panicking is an understatement. I was like, now where do I even start? And I just started crying because I wasn't sure if I could use my camera to vlog in all the areas. I mean, like here in Kenya, you can't vlog using your DSLR camera. So I was using my phone as backup. And I was so worried, like, my goodness, what am I going to do now that my phone has remained? And the interesting bit, I don't know, maybe it's an age issue, but I just have a problem putting a password on my phone. None of my phones have password because that's one extra thing to remember. And I'm trying to minimize all the things I need to remember in this dear life. So my phone didn't even have a password. And this phone is basically like my office. And as someone who works remotely, it was something that really helped me if I need to sign DocuSign documents, if I need to do any office work. So I was really scared that what if somebody realizes that the phone is not locked and then decides that they are going to, you know, do something fishy or even send an email or sign a document or something. I was really worried. So fortunately, while I was in Argentina, because of language barrier, in Argentina they speak mostly Spanish. Very few people speak English. I decided to hire a photographer come guide through Airbnb online experiences. So a beautiful, amazing lady who was with me throughout my trip. She's always taking me pictures, showing me around. I decided to contact her and tell her, hey, I forgot my... So as soon as I arrived Brazil, I bought a cheaper phone, and I texted her and told her, hey, this is what is happening. Can you please contact the police? And she's like, Eva, are you really serious? Can you just listen to yourself? Like, how do you expect to find your phone that was lost? How do you expect to find it at the airport? Yeah, like, how even is that possible? I told her, my dear, let's just try. So I checked online for the Argentina police, airport police number, and I asked her to call that number. And she called the number, and they were like, hey, we pick so much stuff at the airport, we would never know whose is whose. But I know, so just before that, when I couldn't trace my phone, as soon as I couldn't remember actually where I had left the phone or if it was still there. So I sent an email to my son just to let them know, hey guys, I have lost my phone. So if you realize that I'm not, sorry guys, my house is right behind a church, so kindly ignore the background noise. We have to finish this video. So I told my son that, hey, I had lost my phone, so you will not hear as frequent communication as you have been hearing. And my son was like, Mom, let me just try and track it for you. Maybe it's in your bag or somewhere. And when he tracked the phone, it actually showed that the phone was in Argentina. By this time, I'm in Brazil. So he tracked the phone and traced it to Argentina.
And I knew right away, and it tracked the beauty with the tracker, it placed it exactly into the airport. So I knew at least the phone was still at the airport. I tried calling, no one was picking it, so that gave me some comfort. So I called this girl and I told her, hey, please just go to the airport and confirm with the police that this is the phone. So I sent her all my details, email number, everything else about my phone, because my son was using the phone earlier, so at least he had put tracker on the phone and he knew all the details of the phone. So he went to the police, and the police lost and found department, and sure enough, my phone was there. Now here comes the challenge. According to the government of Argentina's laws and regulations, my phone can only be given to me. But I'm in Brazil, and I was only going to stay in Brazil for about 5 days. So I'm like, by the time we finish all this process with the Argentina police and they send it to me, remember there's language barrier here as well. In Argentina, everybody's speaking Spanish. Thank God this girl speaks both Spanish and English, so she was very helpful. In Brazil, everyone is speaking Portuguese. So I'm just like, this is just too much drama. So I decided to tell this girl, at least I'm just comfortable that my phone is around. Once I get back to Kenya, I will organize how the phone can be shipped in Kenya. Please don't come for me with stones. I had ordered muffin cups online, and this is what I got. And I'm like, well, makes a nice rainbow. It's Pride Week. What do I care about what people do in their private parts? Anyway, back to our story. So once I got back to Kenya, I went to DHL, and they have a facility whereby you can pay for both ways of an item to be shipped. So I paid for an empty bag to go from Kenya, an empty bag that is addressed to me, to go from Kenya to Brazil and then come back to me. That costed me $150 US, guys. And mind you, the phone had, at the time, it was the in thing, so it was costing about, I think, $900 US. So I'm paying another $150 to get my phone shipped via DHL, because I have to pay for shipment both ways, to and fro, because I'm paying for an empty bag with my address on it. So when it was now finally time to organize how the shipping is going to be done, the Argentinian police advised that I have to write a letter authorizing this girl to take my phone on my behalf. Guys, this I did, and it had to be in Spanish. So what I did, I wrote the letter in English, and then my girl, shout out to you, Gina, I'll leave her link below. She translated the letter into perfect Spanish, and the police finally dispatched the phone to her. Now getting to DHL, that's where the other drama started now. So according to international shipping policies, apparently you cannot ship an item that has lithium on it if you're not on board that shipping vessel. So a lot of back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I even confirmed this is my phone, I've been using it, showed them the pictures, because it didn't have a password. So the girl was like, hey, this is the phone, she's actually been using it. It's been found by the Argentinian police and they've authorized for it to be shipped, blah, blah, blah. Finally, the phone was shipped to me. In about, I think 5 days, I had my phone in Kenya. But overall, this whole process took about, I think, a month, between me being in Brazil and coming back to Kenya and communicating with the Argentina police and doing all this, shipping and blah, blah, blah. But eventually, after the phone was released from Argentina, the phone finally arrived in Nairobi, and then the drama began. Hey, let me finish this and just show you my face, guys. So the dough was not enough. The dough is not enough for all the whatevers, all the pockets. So I didn't realize the recipe was actually the recipe called for smaller muffin cups, but since I don't have, I just use these regular ones. So this is what you do if you're trying to make muffins and the dough is not enough. Just put water. Just put water in the empty, so that they don't overheat. So that's what I've done. I've just filled them with the water. Ideally, I should have preheated my oven, but we are in Kenya. I'm doing at 180 degrees centigrade for 15 minutes. Our muffins should be ready, and I'll be right back. Guys, our muffins are ready. As you can see, it comes out clean. Finally, my breakfast is ready, and I'm having my Pride Month cranberry and orange muffins that I just made. I'm having my Mtalii signature masala tea. I'm having freshly pressed pineapple juice, and I have here 2 sausages, 2 eggs, and tomatoes. Let me know in the comment section below if you think I am overeating. And just to continue our story time. So guys, I was telling you how my phone finally arrived in Kenya, and I get a text message from DHL. Hey Eva, your parcel is at customs and you need to pay X amount of money for duty. Guys, this is the phone we're talking about. It's literally in pieces. First of all, I bought the phone for like $900 US. Paid VAT for it. Now, DHL wants me to pay duty again. Apparently, Kenya Revenue Authority is charging duty on the same phone. So I tried to negotiate with them, tell them, guys, that is my phone. I left Kenya with it. You can even check, because it doesn't have a password. You can check the last messages I sent. You can check the pictures I took, the vlogs I did when I was at the airport. Very few. So they advised me the best thing that I need to do is to file to the, I don't know, revenue officer or somebody, request for waiver. So I do that. Mind you, now this is like week 2 since my phone has arrived. So I apply for the waiver. Almost another week plus goes. Then DHL comes back to me and they're like, hey Eva, we are sorry. Your request for waiver has been declined and you have to pay duty. So I'm like, whatever. I seriously need my phone. Because I don't know. Somebody might have been, sent funny messages or done some approvals, because my entire, like, everything was in that phone. DocuSign, kila kitu. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'm gonna pay. So they send me a TIN number. Then they tell me, okay, your phone has been dispatched from JKI. Now it's with us here,
and you have to pay storage. Like guys, like I have to pay storage for my phone, because apparently when your item is shipped by DHL, you only get like 3 days of free storage. And then now they are charging me like, I think it was 350 shillings, about 3.5 US dollars per day. And so I paid all that because I really needed my phone. By the time I was getting my phone back, I had spent almost 500 US dollars. Because remember, I had to pay for DHL like both ways, because I sent like an empty package with my address so that DHL on the other end in Argentina could ship it back to me. I was spending so much money making phone calls to speak with the Argentinian police. I had to get a translator. I had to pay the lady who helped me because her house is very far from the airport. She had to do so many back and forth trips. I had to pay for Uber and all that. Then I had to give her like a token of appreciation. So I paid so much money for my phone at the end of everything, and for this broken phone. Fortunately for me, I had taken travel insurance. So what I did, I filed claims for like the lost phone, the damages and everything else that I incurred to bring it back to Kenya. And fortunately the insurance company paid for me, so that really helped me out. So if you're ever debating on whether or not to get travel insurance, I would highly recommend, because it helps on things like if your flight gets cancelled, your luggage gets lost or something like that. So guys, that's the story of how the Argentinian police shipped my phone, my lost phone, from Argentina all the way back to Kenya. Let me know in the comment section below if you like such kind of travel stories, and I'll definitely share a lot more of them. And yeah, let me know what you think about this video. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Guys, what are your thoughts about the Pride Month and all this talk about gays? And so personally, so I'm a Christian, yes, I know what the Bible says about gay people and lesbians and all this kind of things, but I'm of the opinion that as long as somebody decides they want to quote unquote sin differently, love differently, I'm not going to play judge, because I also have my own weaknesses and these things I know the Bible says I shouldn't do, but I still do them. So I'm probably also gonna end up in hell for lying or some other things, the same way everybody says that the gay and lesbians are gonna probably someday end up in whatever, depending on your personal beliefs. But my personal position is that when it comes to matters love, when it comes to how people use their private parts, it's really none of my business, unless one of these people come in like, hey Eva, what do you think about this? Then I would actually use my personal beliefs and tell them, according to this book that I believe in, this is wrong. But as long as nobody has asked for my opinion, and I'm just like, do what you want to do with your private parts, just don't harm anybody. And I know this is really tough, because the same Bible says that we should love one another, and it doesn't say let people stop sinning and then we love them. It just says love one another the same way God has loved us. And I think the easiest way to reach these people that we think don't love the same way that we do, or have been classified as sinners, is to reach out in love if you think that you want to reach out. But on the other hand, again, I come from the school of thought that if you have nothing good to say, yeah, so those are my thoughts. Let people do whatever they want to do, their private parts. As for me and Doshi, tutapendana milele. Well guys, I need to really wrap up this vlog. Thank you for watching. I'll definitely see you on the next video. Bye bye. Actually, venye mjulbeng ziko tamu, wacha tu nibaki kwa lane.